and another 10-wicket haul against Australia. Then to India, 1988 in the second test at Bombay, 10 wickets in the match for the 9th time. New Zealand won by 136 runs, but it was India who provided another milestone at Christchurch in 1990. A tremendous performance there because it came at a time where you were having injury problems.
I had an Achilles tendon operation in November of 1989. At the age of 38, when you have leg operations like that, there's not too many incentives to get over them and strive to rehabilitate yourself to come back. But the incentive for me was, of course, I was on 396 test wickets, and trying to be the first man to get to 400 was like achieving a major barrier. Like Sir Edmund Hillary conquering Everest, or Roger Bannister doing the first sub-4 minute mile. The challenge was there, and that was the thing that kept me going. And I had to rehabilitate myself against the odds because the surgeon only gave me a 70% chance of getting back on the field again.
I gave you none because, as you'll recall, I saw you at the Sportsman of the Year Awards where you had to get on crutches 3 times up to accept awards, and I wasn't sure you were going to make it back on any one of those 3 occasions. And I went back to Australia and said, I'm very sad to have to say it, I don't think Richard will be back. And yet here you are, you've just gone through a couple more absolute triumphs.
Well, it was quite extraordinary because I'd just come out of plaster when you'd seen me 2 weeks early, and we took grave risks to get the foot moving again and working. And it took me 8 weeks of hard work to get fit. And I wasn't even selected in the original 12 to play against India at Christchurch. But I was included in the 13 to be a net bowler and for the selectors to see just what sort of condition I was in. And Willie Watson actually broke a thumb just prior to that test match, and I was drafted in as his replacement. And I played in that match with having 30 overs behind me in club cricket. And so I got on the field, got the 4 wickets, we won that particular match, the 400 came up, which was a tremendous milestone. In fact, I received 400 roses to mark the occasion they came out onto the field. And we won that particular series, and which again was important, but it meant that I'd gone through the 70s and the 80s, and I'd started the 90s in a New Zealand cricket team. So I was going into sort of 3 decades of cricket, and it was a marvellous feeling to still be part of that New Zealand team again against the odds.
What was the feeling when you got that 400th?
Well, the first 3 wickets actually came very quickly in the first innings, and then I was left on 399, and it wasn't until the second innings and late or midway through their second innings that wicket came about, and Sanjay Manjrekar becomes that particular victim. I think the Indians were having a sweepstake as to who the 400th would be, but he actually got an inside edge onto the stumps, and I must admit that when it happened there was great joy, obviously, but one of relief, because I've had a habit when I've needed milestones anywhere around the world, which seemingly should happen reasonably quickly, have been delayed somewhat through whatever circumstance. But certainly it was a very special moment.